What information should you bring to the initial consultation to help the attorney better assess your case?
Dean, there's a lot of really important things that you can bring along if they're available. If they're not, that is fine. It's important to get in there early. That is the most important thing. But if you have a copy of your insurance policy, in particular the declaration sheet, that is really important. If you've gotten a police report, bring it along. That's really helpful. It's quite often something our firm gets for our clients, but if you have a copy, that's great. If you have any evidence, if you have pictures of the accident, pictures of the accident scene, if you have the name of any witnesses and or their phone numbers, those are really important things to bring. If you've gotten the insurance information from the at-fault driver, that's really important information.
Welcome to the 805 Law Group Podcast, your source for an entertaining blend of law and legal community updates. Each week, you'll get crucial insights into family law, personal injury, criminal defense, and estate planning, along with the latest insider information about what's happening in the local legal community and high-profile cases right here on the Central Coast. Now let's get started with your host, the founder of 805 Law Group, attorney Bill Osman. Welcome to the 805 Law Group Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Dean Mignola.
And I'm attorney Bill Osman.
All right. Today we're going to tell you the critical questions to ask your personal injury attorney during your initial consultation. And I know that is a very important topic for people if they're involved in a personal injury case. But before we get into the specific questions, what information should you bring to the initial consultation to help the attorney better assess your case?
Dean, there's a lot of really important things that you can bring along if they're available. If they're not, that is fine. It's important to get in there early. That is the most important thing. But if you have a copy of your insurance policy, in particular the declaration sheet, that is really important. If you've gotten a police report, bring it along. That's really helpful. It's quite often something our firm gets for our clients, but if you have a copy, that's great. If you have any evidence, if you have pictures of the accident, pictures of the accident scene, if you have the name of any witnesses and or their phone numbers, those are really important things to bring. If you've gotten the insurance information from the at-fault driver, that's really important information. So whatever information you've gotten, if you had exchanged information, the at-fault party's name, their address, their phone number, all that information's good. Additionally, if you went to the emergency room or you were taking an ambulance ride, do you have the name? Did you get some discharge papers? Did you get a bill? All of that is important. Did you get referred to a doctor? If you've had any medical treatments, would love to have a copy of that. So all that information is great and will help us a lot. That is information that we will get for you if you don't have it. But if you have it, that's very helpful.
Yeah, I could see where the more you get, the more it helps. How do you typically guide your clients in articulating the details of their accident or injury to ensure that, all that relevant information is considered?
This really requires great listening skills, Dean. And so I listen to what my clients have to say. I ask really good questions so I can understand what's going on. So quite often there are facts or details or information that the client overlooks, but we'll listen very carefully. We have a very skilled team of litigators. We'll pick through those facts and we'll find that information and bring it forward, get that information so we can use it to the advantage to maximize the recovery for our clients.
Okay. Well, of course, listening really requires asking the right questions as well. Can you provide some examples of critical questions that the client should, or that the client, first of all, let's start with the client, that the client should ask the attorney during the initial consultation?
Yes, there's a lot of really important questions that the client should ask is, hey, how long has your firm been doing this? And in
Mhm.
particular, the attorneys that are going to be working on my case, how many have they done? What is their average? What have they been able to obtain in the past? What is your success rate in this type of case? I think those are really important questions. I think that a client should, understand what about the cost. Am I going to be responsible for those costs? So these are really important questions. The client should go through, take a sheet of paper, write things that are important to you,
Hmm.
any specific thoughts or any specific concerns that you have. Get them out there in the initial consult. Ask your attorney or your legal team those questions, get those answered, and that will help you have confidence as you move forward and to get the best results possible.
Okay. Now let's turn it around. And what are some questions that you typically ask the potential client or the client in these initial consultations?
Well, a lot of the questions that we've kind of gone through is the material. What kind of insurance do you
Hmm.
have? Do you have a copy of that deck sheet? Do you have the other driver's information? Have you seen some doctors? Have you been referred to a specialist? Have you had or done any filming, a CAT scan, x rays, things of that nature? Have you made the follow up appointments? If you referred to physical therapy, have you done those? And then
Hmm.
another important thing is, are you willing to follow those courses of treatment? Because the way we can help maximize a client's recovery is making sure that they follow up with their medical professionals. They get that treatment that they need. It maximizes their recovery, it maximizes the recovery in real time by getting them physically healed, but also maximize recovery as the dollars that we're able to obtain for that client, and that is our ultimate goal, is try to make them whole by maximizing recovery, mind, body, soul, spirit, and wallet.
Right. Well, and that kind of ties into, when we're talking about the potential liability of the other party, what kind of questions do you ask and what do you use to determine how much liability there may be in a given case?
Right. So one of the things that we have to look at is who's the at fault party. So we typically represent people that are not the at fault party. We're able to get them the best results. One of the things the adjuster on the other side is going to try to do is claim that there's some contributory negligence. So, one of the things that we'll do is work with our client, making sure that we eliminate or cut that down. Additionally, in determining liability, we'll ask the client to see the doctor, to follow up with some specialists. We have a great relationship with several specialists in the community that we can refer our
Hmm.
clients to, that are more than happy to help them and get them not only excellent service, but able to properly assess their injuries so they can get great treatment and help us to maximize the recovery for the client.
Okay. Are you enjoying the 805 Law Group podcast so far? Make sure you never miss an episode by hitting that subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. For more information about 805 Law Group, visit our website, 805lawgroup.com. Now, let's get back to the show. Now, I would think that obviously a client or a potential client, they're going to have questions about their case, but also, because most people aren't familiar with the legal system that much, I'm sure they have some questions about the legal system as well. What are some questions that you often hear, and what do you like to tell people who they're like, okay, how does this all work?
So, yes, the way it works is we will take on your case. It will be free of charge to you. So, we don't charge our
Hmm.
clients a penny. And if we don't recover, we don't charge them a dime. So, this really is, in essence, a free service that we provide to the clients. And we're paying for costs as we go along. That really helps them have peace of mind that they can focus on their recovery. They can focus on
Hmm.
getting better and getting medical treatment without having to shell money out of pocket. They're not having to pay attorney's fees. They're not having to pay costs. So that really is something that clients are concerned about, that we hear frequently. And I am really proud of our team that we do that and provide that service to the community. Additionally, clients are worried about, hey, how am I going to be able to recover? I've missed time at work. I've missed
Hmm.
out on important moments of my kids' lives with family and with friends. How do I get recovery of that? And that is something that we have done for over 25 years now, Dean. And we've been able
Hmm.
to consolidate, to focus in on the most important elements that will really drive value in a person's case. We're constantly studying this. I've graduated from Jerry Spence's Trial Lawyers College, where we study this and we bring it to the forefront that we can maximize the recovery for people and really show those damages to the adjuster and to a jury pool if necessary.
Well, let's talk about that for a moment because I'm just curious how often personal injury cases actually go to trial, and does going to trial, or at least the threat of going to trial, does that give you an advantage when you've got that trial experience like you do, for example?
Absolutely. What we find is we're able to maximize people's recovery, not only for the hard work that we've done on the front end, referring to specialists and making sure that you get the top quality care from top quality providers, but we are also willing to try a case. We're willing to take 12 people into a jury and show to them the value that our clients have lost to maximize the recovery. We get better respect from insurance adjusters because we're willing to try cases that many firms are not. Settlement mills, they don't get the respect that a good trial lawyer will. And we across the board see that our results are at a higher level and able to get better recovery, better results in all respects for our clients.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. That's going to wrap up this episode of the 805 Law Group podcast. Now, of course, if you enjoyed the content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and follow, and look for that notification bell. Any final thoughts, Bill?
Yes, if you do have any lingering questions about your accident or injury, friends or family, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be glad to answer any questions you have and put you on the right track so that you can maximize your recovery as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next podcast. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of the 805 Law Group podcast. Don't forget to visit our website, 805lawgroup.com/podcast, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon Music, so you never miss an episode. If you found value in the show, we'd love it if you could rate it on iTunes or even tell your friends. Make sure to join attorney Bill Osman next week for another informative and entertaining episode. Remember, at 805 Law Group, we're turning law into empowerment, one episode at a time.